Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog real quick. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's Christmas Day. I want to talk about something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while and never really got around to doing it, because it's not really designated towards any team, but more towards every team in the NBA who's trading a star player. You know, when I make trade videos, one of the most top comments I always get from people is, we're not trading this guy for an established guy, or, you know, this team's not doing this trade because the team trading away the star player is getting worse, and all this other stuff. And I kind of have a news flash for you guys, for everybody who says these types of things. Very seldom does it happen that a team trades away a star player and their team gets better. Okay? It almost never happens. You know, when you look back on history over the past maybe 20 years even, maybe even longer, of teams that have traded away star players, 9 times out of 10, they don't get back what they gave up. You know what I'm saying? For example, the Kevin Garnett trade to the Boston Celtics, right? The Celtics traded Al Jefferson, 2 first-round picks, Sebastian Telfair, Ryan Gomes, and some other no-name for Kevin Garnett, okay? Do you think the Minnesota Timberwolves got better with that deal? They didn't. Just gonna let you know. They didn't. Do you think the Phoenix Suns got better by, or the Phoenix Suns? Do you think the Brooklyn Nets got better by trading away Kevin Durant for fucking Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas, and whatever draft picks they got? No, they didn't. They didn't get better, okay? Do you think the Nets got better trading Kyrie Irving away for Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie? Do you think the Knicks got better, or the Denver Nuggets got better by trading away Carmelo Anthony for fucking, what is it, Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton, a couple draft picks? Like, do people not understand that this is how trades work when it comes to star players in the NBA? Because what irritates me is I've seen Pacers fans who want Pascal Siakam, they want OG Anunoby, they want a Mikal Bridges, they want maybe a Zach LaVine, which is fucking weird, but there are Pacers fans out there that want him. There's Pacers fans out there that want a DeMar DeRozan. There's Pacers fans out there that want a Karl Anthony Towns. Even when there was DeAndre Ayton, there was Pacers fans out there that wanted a DeAndre Ayton, right? When it comes to trading star talent, unfortunately, you usually have to give up a young player plus picks and salary filler in order to actually acquire said player. Okay? It almost never happens that I can't remember a time in NBA history where it has happened, where a team has traded away a star player or a franchise cornerstone to get back something of equal return that allows their team to continue to be competitive. It literally almost never fucking happens. For example, when the Lakers traded away Shaquille O'Neal, they got Lamar Odom, Brian Grant, Caron Butler, and specifically a draft pick for Shaquille O'Neal, okay, who went to the Miami Heat to play with Dwayne Wade and ended up winning an NBA championship. All right, so very seldomly does it happen, almost never, okay, does it happen, where a team trades away a star player and gets something of equal value back in return. What they get in return is something to build towards the future. You are giving up your blueprint now to build a better blueprint for the future. That is the whole fucking reason that teams trade away their star players, right? And I look at teams like the Toronto Raptors and the Chicago Bulls as teams who have done a horrible job of managing their assets over the past decade, okay? Or even if you're the Toronto Raptors, like over the past probably 3 or 4 years, if you're a team like the Chicago Bulls over probably the past decade, okay? They traded Lauri Markkanen became very good. They traded Jimmy Butler became very good, right? Like, There are teams that, like, they have talent and don't know how to develop them, like, and there's teams that have talent and then they're just not going to get back, you know, what they feel they should get back for that player. Like, for example, when the Toronto Raptors, I'm not even going to say if, but when the Toronto Raptors trade Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, do you think they're going to get something of equal value back? They might for OG Anunoby. Like, that's a possibility. But for a guy like Pascal Siakam, it's not going to happen. Okay? Sorry, it's not going to happen. If you're a Raptors fan, I'm sorry to have to piss in your Cheerios, but it's not going to happen. Why? Because he's a top 3 power forward in the NBA, and there's not a lot of other guys out there doing what he does at the power forward slot. So, unfortunately, when it comes to trading a guy like that, you're probably going to end up taking less than you feel you deserve. And Pacers fans, on the other hand, want guys like Pascal Siakam. They want guys like Zach LaVine. They want guys like Karl Anthony Towns. But as soon as you include Jarris Walker or Andrew Nembhard in that fucking trade, suddenly they're like, no, we can't do it. We can't do it. When I just think to myself, well, you're going to fucking have to. Okay? It's going to have to be maybe even Benedict Mathurin. And as much as I don't like that idea, you know, if you are truly in win now mode, which I don't think the Pacers would get rid of Benedict Mathurin for Pascal Siakam, but if the front office became desperate enough and they wanted a franchise cornerstone guy, a Paul George type of guy even, who might be out there this deadline, right? If you want a guy like that, you're going to have to give up your Jarris Walkers, your Andrew Nembhards, your Benedict Mathurins. Okay? And I know Pacers fans don't like to hear that. Most teams as a whole don't like to hear that when it comes to young players. But if you truly want to fucking win and you truly want to acquire players like that, that's the cost. That's the cost of it. Decent young player plus draft picks and salary filler. That's how that works. Because the team trading away their star player knows that that's all they can get. Is shit that they hope and pray will benefit them in the future. So, you know, like, if you, like, there's so many trades, too, in NBA history where it's like, teams that, like, do you think, like, for example, right, there's the Boston Celtics, right, when they traded away Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to the Nets, okay, they got a fucking haul for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would argue that's the one time in NBA history where a team traded away 2-star players and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and got what they fucking paid for. Those draft picks eventually became guys like, I think, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. All right? Like, that's the one time in NBA history where trading away 2-star players really, really got you where you needed to be. I would argue, like, and that's only because the draft compensation was so fucking ludicrous. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Rudy Gobert trade. I would argue Utah down the road is probably going to be a better team because of how many draft picks they got for Rudy Gobert. Okay? Like I said, there's times in NBA history that it happens, but the immediate impact is your team sucks. Like, that's the immediate impact. Your team sucks. And it's funny because the Boston Celtics traded Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to the Nets, and the Nets, like, immediately, as soon as they traded them, like, the Nets became ass. Like, they were just not good. And they were the team that everybody picked to win the championship that year. As soon as it was like 2013, 2014, when they traded Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to the Nets, everybody was like, they got Darren Williams, they got Joe Johnson, they got KG, they got Paul Pierce. They're going to win it all. And it was all downhill from that point on. Right? Like, you want to talk Danny Ainge trading players at their fucking peak, right? Like, or like at their peak decline. Like, Danny Ainge, like, finessed the shit out of the Brooklyn Nets for that one. But it's very rare that happens. It is very rare that you trade away 2 aging stars like that and you get that much draft compensation back. Honestly, like, Danny Ainge probably should have been tried with highway robbery for what happened with that trade, like, if looking back on it now. But throughout history, if you look at even like the Carmelo Anthony trade, the Kevin Durant trade, you know, what else? Let's see, KG, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, like, there's just all these trades in NBA history where star players get traded. The Jimmy Butler trade, like the multiple Jimmy Butler trades. Like, the first time Jimmy Butler got traded to fucking Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure the Timberwolves got Robert Covington, Dario Saric, and I think Javon Carter or something like that, and a fucking draft pick for Jimmy Butler. Okay? Like, it just goes to show throughout NBA history, you usually don't get back what you gave up in order to, do these trades. So that's just something I want people to understand, is that, like, when it comes to trading for guys like that, like, if you're a team that's looking to acquire one of those guys, like the Indiana Pacers or the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? If you're in a position to acquire a Lauri Markkanen, to acquire a Paul George, to acquire a Pascal Siakam, to acquire a Zach LaVine, to acquire a DeMar DeRozan, okay? When it comes to guys like that, 9 times out of 10, okay, the other team is losing and you're winning, but it comes at a cost. So you're trading away your future to win now, and they're trading away their ability to win now to win in the future. That's the way that it works. And I just wish more people understood this, because there's so many trade videos that I make. And people are like, there's no way we would trade Andrew Nembhard. There's no way we would trade Jarris Walker. Honestly, the only young guy we have on our roster that I feel is untouchable are Tyrese Halliburton and fucking Benedict Mathurin. And even Benedict Mathurin, depending on who's being offered, like a Mikal Bridges or a Paul George or somebody like that, might not even be untouchable. Depending on the leash that Rick Carlisle has on him. So, I'm just saying, people need to understand and get with the times and understand that when it comes to trading players, there is never a fucking equal trade. Just so you know, like, there is rarely ever an equal trade in the NBA. The most equal trade I can think of that has happened in the past decade, maybe 15 years even, is the Tyrese Halliburton trade for Domantas Sabonis. Like, and even that feels kind of one-sided because we got Buddy Hield in it, and Buddy Hield's playing his ass off for the Pacers. You could make an argument that the Pacers won that trade, but it's still, like, in hindsight, seems like a pretty equal fucking trade to this day. So, anyway, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on it. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.